Okay, hey guys, Jack here. This is Get My Rants 5. Wow! Speak of the devil, Cannon's here too. So we're gonna be joined by me, and then introduce yourselves.
Hey there, I'm Michael. I'm here with Jack, and he invited me down to the podcast to help out and talk about
I'm
video games and stuff.
I'm Kevin. Same here, and
Yeah, Kevin's a
uh,
renowned Overwatch pro, and Michael is a renowned streamer, rivaling the likes of Chapanya.
And
Um,
Tyler won.
yes, twitch.tv/LawsofPhysix. And Cannon, how are you? Are you there?
Good, and I'm from the OG, getting my man.
Yeah, you're from the. I don't know if you were in the first few ones in middle school with like Andy and Will. Although we could get Will back now that you actually play with him again. So in one day we'll talk to Will again. That's funny though. That was like 5 years ago, right? Anyways, I would ask how you guys have been, but we've been sitting in here for a while. So first thing I wanted to just make a brief aside because in the past few hours I noticed that on the League subreddit, Clash went down for a number of regions, which was pretty funny. So hopefully none of you guys had like any anticipation for that, because Riot's really good at dealing with that. But anyways,
Nah, dude. I was playing just focus on solo queue the entire time.
yeah, Michael's gonna get a lot of pussy from the LP gain.
Clearly.
Yes.
Get
So
all the e-girls.
including Kevin.
what?
So recently, I think it's easiest to talk about like what's going on recently, right? So most importantly, like the two biggest FPSs, well, I'd argue like in the last decade, like two of the large franchises, Battlefield and Call of Duty, of course, released their trailers for the respective games, right? So Black Ops 4, the trailer came out first, and then I think it was just yesterday Battlefield 5 came out for their trailer.
Either yesterday or 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
it's very recent, and there's controversy surrounding both, but I want to get into a brief. And I know Cannon and Kevin aren't super into either, but they have some other contributions. So I want to first talk about like Black Ops 4, some stuff that I've heard around like the arguments. So one of the major things was like, at least when I noticed too, is when I watched it, it wasn't very distinguishing. And I know like from the old days, like from Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 1, people always said, wow, COD is just a copy pasta game. And I get that. But this game I literally couldn't distinguish, and maybe it's because I didn't play very much of Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare. It was difficult for me to distinguish it as a unique game. It just looked to me like it was actually just the same. I wouldn't be able to tell which game it was.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they reused a lot of assets moving forward, especially now they're bringing back they're doing specialists again, but it's not like giving individual characters. Your character will just be a specialist itself.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, I think some of this copying, like copy pasta, is like business goes all the way back to like Black Ops 3. You know, like they tried to go like futuristic with it and add these different like things. And I think that like since it ended up being like, well, they were trying to break away from some of their old things by going like futuristic, because everyone did it and they continue to do it. It ended up being the same problem again.
Yeah, but even then, like even in Black Ops 1, they reused a shit ton of assets.
Right.
Like
Oh, totally.
I was watching this one YouTuber called Atman, and he was doing like sound comparisons to all the guns, and every single shotgun, besides the full auto one in Black Ops 1, had the same sound.
Even though there's like a reusage of assets, I would still argue that there is some like thing thematically that feels differential. So for example, like the Modern Warfare series, each of the Modern Warfare games, and maybe it's because I've played them a lot, I understand that that's a huge contributing factor, but I can very quickly, like if I look at a game, I can distinguish between those very quickly just based on the color palette itself. Modern Warfare 1 was the most bland, like the game was like very grainy. Of course, graphics were weren't as good then. Modern Warfare 2 was definitely the most colorful, everything looked a bit smoother, and then MW3 had the really drowned out colors. And again, I know it's possible that I just played them a lot, but I would argue that like even just from like the colors, it felt distinguishing, whereas I just felt Black Ops 4 kind of looks like Infinite Warfare just when I looked at that trailer as well, and I went back to look at it, and it was kind of difficult for me to see differences.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that. They all like this weird, like industrial gray kind of like overtone to it.
yeah, and the games have been going on for a long time, so it's not to say like it's easy making something different, or like because there's different perspectives, right? Because people complain about being too similar, and then people complaining about it not being the same game. But
Yeah.
aside from themes, though, I do want to say that one of the larger issues coming out was talking about how the gameplay is changing. So I don't know how much you guys have heard about this, but I've looked around like I guess a decent amount, and essentially the game is changing in a more tactical sense. I guess Michael, since you've played a lot of Siege, it's trying to become a bit more like Siege, is how people have said it.
I can see that. So I know they upped all the health for characters, I believe, from 100 to 150.
Yeah.
They changed the way the recoil system works, and I think they're making headshots more valuable.
Yeah.
But I don't. Again, I can see why the shift they're going for because a lot more shooters are popular at the moment, especially if you want to look at esports or whatever, or much more tactical based, like at CS:GO, let's look at Siege. But COD was never that style. COD was always, the run and gun arcade shooter. Was always the run and gun arcade FPS. So, I mean, if they want to try a tactical one, like I'm, like good on them. But I always thought when I think COD, I think something arcadey, something you can pick up for like do a quick match in like 30 minutes and then it's log off for the night or whatever.
See,
Yeah.
that's like the point I completely like. Well, Cannon, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm probably less informed than like most people, but they're adding new game modes to the new CODs, right?
Yeah, like the battle royale modes and stuff.
Battle Royale. I feel like they're kind of jumping on a bandwagon there, and instead of like it's sort of like like slurring like their like identity again. You know what I mean? Like they're not like sticking to a solid format.
And I think like that's not necessarily bad, but like Michael pointed out, the big point was regarding like the fact that when you play COD, you're playing it as like just an arcade run and gun. You kind of just go on to play, right? It's not very extreme. I know there was a lot of cases in the old days where I might have played. I don't know about you guys, but like played Team Tactical on MW2, like Search and Destroy.
Team Tac was so much fun.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that, like trying to like in a game that I play a lot, doing a more like tactical approach.
But even then, the pace of the game was still fast because you just go down from a team of 6 to a team of 4.
Right, and the thing is like I just think that. The other problem is, like you said, when you're just playing a normal game, you're not expecting that, right? And I don't know how the player base for Call of Duty will react to having to communicate better. It was already, like, in the past, a huge thing to PTFO to, like, play the fucking objective. That was a large complaint, because when you play Call of Duty, it's unlikely that your team's coordinated, because...
you all want kill streaks.
Right, you all want kill streaks. And I'm not saying, like, it's like, oh, no, you have to play the objective. Like, it is what you want to do for winning, but a lot of those big hype moments from COD come from getting kill streaks, and, performing well in that aspect. So that's not like their selling point wasn't like this objective team-based shooter. So I worry that this game, while it could be good on its own, it might suffer the consequences of not appealing to what the audience wants. And if it does, good for them, but then I feel like we're going to be missing that good old COD feel, which I feel like I have been for a few years. Like, I've been going back to play older games pretty much.
Yeah. Even like the stint it called World War II, it doesn't feel like a COD game, in my opinion.
The perk system is weird. Yeah.
Perk system's weird. It just, it's bad to boots on the ground, but I don't know. The maps were really bland and boring, in my opinion. But even for like the 3 weeks I played it, I don't remember any of the maps at all. Yet I can go back to easy like Modern Warfare 2. I can look at like High Rise or like Terminal or like Favela even, or even for Black Ops 1, you remember
Summit, Nuketown.
Yeah, Summit, Nuketown, all those iconic maps, and then I don't recall anything special.
Even in Black Ops 3, I don't feel that way, but I overall liked like the Black Ops 3 maps, but I get that. There's nothing too iconic from them.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just have it looking at rose-tinted glasses.
Right.
But...
Well, I think actually one of the things is like a lot of the maps I recognize very well have like this huge a lot of the maps seem very different, and there's this huge centerpiece almost at the middle that kind of makes it. For example, like you said, High Rise. It's literally skyscrapers, so it's very obvious for us. Something like estate. There's a huge estate at the top of the hill. Everyone's
or even Wasteland. Everyone's fighting the bunker.
Yeah, and then when I think about something like Black Ops 3, there's the map that like was in a complex. I don't remember the name, but it was just like a building complex. There's not much I can remember that.
I mean, do you remember the Modern Warfare 3 maps at all, or no?
No, I think Modern Warfare 3 had the same issue, where their maps also weren't very exciting. So... Yeah, I think it was mostly I think, honestly, the MW2 maps were the most exciting, with some Black Ops map and some COD 4 maps.
I mean, the Black Ops maps, as you said, I remember Summit a lot. Newtown was just so damn fun.
Yeah.
I remember, I forgot the name of the map, but I remember clearly where A site and C site were on opposite sides of a rocket launch pad, and then you fight over the B flag.
Oh yeah.
And then you can trigger the detonation to launch a rocket and kill everyone who's inside. So even I feel there's just a lot more interactivity and soul in those maps rather than the new ones.
Yeah. And again, like he pointed out, there's still the possibility of the rose-tinted glasses thing, because those were definitely earlier on when our brains were cluttered with like less memorization of maps. But I still think if I could go back, like make a solid argument, I would go around thinking about the huge thematic parts of it. But anyway, so to move on like to the other side of it, we also have Battlefield 5, and I'll compare them after. But First off, so one of the larger things that happened, I don't know about you guys if you've been following the reaction to Battlefield 5.
The trailer.
A lot of people thought the gameplay looked cool, but there's a lot of controversy regarding like the women, being in World War II and stuff like that. I don't want to get too in depth in like political stuff, but I do want to say that I highly doubt that EA as an organization is just a bunch of SJWs, right? I think it makes more sense I think this is a business rather than political motivation because they probably have people doing the research to know that, and like focus groups and stuff to know that if they're going to lose customers for representation and inaccuracy, they'll probably gain more customers from the inclusion, and it's probably a positive like business outcome for them. So, for one, I know there's been a lot of negative reaction about that, but I do think like EA's making that decision for a business reason. I highly doubt it's political. I don't know how you guys.
Okay, my argument with this though is that it could be completely business and whatever, but then we looked at I was actually doing some research on this. There's been like Twitter spats where animators are like, where people are asking like, have you thought like what happened to Battlefield being like predominantly the gritty, like not the most realistic, but like they tried to stay true to facts shooter. I mean, look at Battlefield 1.
I guess. I mean, I have a question as someone who wasn't really a fan of didn't really play a lot of the Battlefield games. Like throughout the series, have they been paid attention to a lot of historical detail? Or is it something where they just use it as thematic, like just for thematic purposes?
World War One, I think, did.
Battlefield 1 paid a lot of attention to detail. Battlefield 1942 paid a lot of attention to detail since it was very Pacific theater.
Obviously, the modern games like 3 and 4 and Bad Company were like, I mean, modern games are pretty standard. Like if you just do them fairly well, as long as they're accurate enough.
But their historical games have been like, they've always tried to sell them like they wouldn't try to sell themselves as like realistic, but very historically accurate.
Right. So I mean, I don't necessarily like. Again, I would prefer if the game was accurate. I know I'm gonna get flamed for this a lot, but I will say it's not gonna. This isn't the type of decision that would prevent me from buying a game. So I would be part of that category. Would be like, okay, well, this thematically for the game doesn't make as much sense. But if the game is still good and it's still Battlefield, I would still buy it, right? So,
I mean, my problem with it is like, I don't mind the fact that there's women in the game at all. I mind the fact that like, why does she have like a hook arm and like a prosthetic arm in a quote unquote realistic setting, and like there's a guy like randomly with katana, but they're fighting in Europe.
Yeah, so the katana one is kind of weird. I will say there's one that pointed out the Mohawk guy, but that's actually realistic.
The Mohawk guy is realistic.
But the katana was very,
the katana like, I don't know.
Kevin, does that make you want to play the game more as a weeb?
Honestly, not necessarily if they're being historically inaccurate.
And a lot of it to me, just the trailer was a muddled mess. Like,
yeah, it was very clustered. I couldn't tell too much what was going on. It looked more fast-paced than what Battlefield should be.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the best trailer that ever came out was Battlefield 1 in recent history. I thought the Battlefield 1 trailer really sold me on the game.
I still liked Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, honestly, both of them. But I jerk off the modern games, so that's pretty much.
I like Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 2 I feel was.
Battlefield 2 is very, very old.
Yeah, I'm just saying, from Battlefield 2, I just really hope they add new content.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there is a difference though. So there's always been this argument with Battlefield versus Call of Duty, but then there's also the other people who make the counter argument of apples to oranges, right? With Call of Duty moving to more of a team-based shooter. I think people will compare them more, but I still think that would be incorrect because I think Battlefield's a different type of team-based shooter.
Because I think Battlefield's much more focused on grand scale battles.
Yes.
Like 32 on 32 as compared. I think the biggest you have is Ground War, which is 8 on 8.
Right. And I think the type of team-based shooter Call of Duty is more the type that Rainbow Six Siege is, where you want certain specialists to do certain things for objectives and trying to counter them.
Classes?
Yeah, it's more about I wouldn't say
shooter.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it classes. I would call them character or character based. Whereas Battlefield uses more what I would consider classes, assault medic
engineer,
where and I enjoy that type of shooter. I loved playing BF3 when that first came out, and I was a huge COD player for a few years. So
all I did in BF3 is just spam medic and just run around the rifle celebrating people.
Yeah, medic was busted. You got points for just passive healing. But Battlefield 5 is as well changing their gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
Much like Call of Duty, where they don't have the manual regen anymore. You have to pick up the packs and other stuff like that.
There's also gonna be markers where you can't heal over. Like if you
Right.
drop down 25%, you can't go back
And-
to the full.
See, for Battlefield, I'm actually fine with these because these
Yeah.
feel like something that makes sense with Battlefield thematically.
Yeah.
Like from a gameplay perspective, I'm okay with these. It's for Call of Duty that I have issues with these types of things because I don't think it's going to be the game that I want to play, right?
How do you feel about them removing campaign mode for Battle Royale?
I think that Call of Duty campaign, I haven't paid attention to it in the last few years, and I know some of them have been good.
Black Ops 1 is so good.
Well, I mean, like even like Advanced Warfare and stuff. I hear people have been telling me they're good, but I just haven't played them because I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's much hype around it. When Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 came out, right? I was excited to see what happened to the characters from the original Modern Warfare. One of the defining moments from MW2, in fact, is the betrayal of Shepard. You finding out that Captain Price was even alive. Because in the end of MW1, on the bridge scene, you don't see his name indicator after you guys get picked up by Kamarov.
Yep.
So you think he's dead, and you just think Soap's the one remaining.
Yep.
But Prisoner 627, who's Prisoner 627? You go on the gulag, it's Price. And he's like, he just says Soap, and the guy's like, who the hell is Soap? Because none of them know his name. So there's a lot of stuff like that I thought was really cool. And then MW3, you get to see references back to MW1. So I don't know. Like these are things that I just personally follow for the story, but I just feel like there hasn't been hype built around it.
I thought Black Ops 1 had a really amazing campaign. I thought it was actually pretty well crafted, and I thought it actually played like the conflict between Reznov and Mason, and how Mason was actually two split personalities. Well, spoiler alert for a fucking 10-year-old game. But it was a really well-crafted campaign in my opinion.
Did you play Black Ops 2 campaign?
I have not.
Okay, it sequeled Black Ops 1 pretty well in my opinion. I would play through that. I think that was a good over. Mom,
You put that? Oh, Jack just muted his mic.
Anyways,
But,
I think that, Black Ops 2 is the Call of Duty that I played the most. Just from like a multiplayer standpoint and whatnot. I think that I played Black Ops 1 and I really enjoyed it, but it was at the point where Black Ops 2 was coming out like 2 months later, and so I automatically just switched over to that, and so like most of my hours or Call of Duty game are in Black Ops 2.
I think that's
I
what
remember
Jack.
playing through the campaign with my friends when it came out.
I think that's what Jack told me, like how he didn't get into the most Modern Warfare until after they came out.
yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
Well, specifically for us though, Canon, I think that ours is more of a unique situation of that's around the time of 8th grade for us was when Black Ops 2 came out. So we were playing a lot on console with like our group of friends. So I don't know if that's similar for a lot of other people. It's a lot more case by case for us.
I started going to COD freshman year of high school, so like I guess you guys would be a 6th grade.
Yeah. That's when I started getting into COD 2. But I didn't. That was when Black Ops came out, but I didn't buy the game.
That was because one of my best friends from LA and I had an argument playing Halo vs COD, and we just ended up playing both. But no, like I remember playing Modern Warfare 1 and having like so much fun playing on Shipment, and you have that level of progression, which is super nice.
Yeah.
In COD. And I don't know how I don't know how I feel about 4. Like I've been full on played a COD game in a while, so none of them really excited me. Besides like Black Ops 1, like I played a lot of Black Ops 2 with my friends, like at their house. And I enjoyed it. It was a really well crafted game. I liked the pick 10 system. I thought that was really innovative for its time. But yeah, no.
See, one of the rumors that was going around was that they brought back a lot of the old Infinity Ward people. So they're speculating, since the next game is Infinity Ward, that they're going to do another modern game. So if this was me a few years ago, I've been very excited. But now I worry that it's going to be a perversion of what I want from one of the Modern Warfare games.
Yeah.
Especially that worries me.
Especially Modern Warfare 2. Like they're doing the remaster of it, but it's only going to be campaign mode because.
I don't know if that's confirmed still.
But if that's the rumor, and if that happens, that's such a big shot.
Also for $30. $30, Michael.
As much as I love the MW,
I'm not paying $30 for that.
I'm not paying $30 for it. I'll pay 10 for it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I would like 10 is my limit. Like I would not pay more than $10, pretty much. Yeah. I know that sounds very cheapo, but you have to understand the single player for COD lasts under like 6 hours. So paying like too much money for that is like, oof.
There's only so many times you can hear Ramirez do this in like a short amount of time.
Right. Ramirez,
take out that ATC.
Yeah. So, a lot of good times from the old games, and I think that like I don't know. It's difficult because like I think we're all getting older, so we have more of like expectations for it to be like the past when it's not necessarily the case. I remember specifically from Battlefield 3 for us, even though this only happened a few times, where it was on like CN Crossing on Rush, where we'd backdoor the enemy MCOM and like charge in with us on just a vehicle, and we'd one squad take down the whole map. But like that only happened a few times for us. But still, we kept trying that weekend after weekend because it was such an exciting moment for us to do.
But
So.
even then, I feel like a lot of modern shooters are losing what made them great in the first place. We even see with Halo and how Halo 4 and 5 kind of flopped compared to like what Halo 2 and 3 brought us. And I think that's just they're trying too much to go into trends and then rather than just being what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I also think that like some of those games like thrive for different reasons. Like it was definitely like a very like particular era of gaming, but like Halo, I think thrived way more off of its story than Call of Duty did. Like don't get me wrong, they both had roots, in my opinion, but I think balanced in different ways of game.
I think my caveat to that though is look at Halo Online and the popularity it spiked until Microsoft decided to ban Hammer, right? But it was peaking at like 12 to like 18,000 players on popular nights, and that's just they're playing. What's up?
I think Cannon's
Sorry,
internet is kind
Yeah.
of, but I don't know. I mean, like for me, it was always the MW games because I was a huge like MW1 because I wanted to make games, right? But I was all about like having things be perfectly accurate in real life. So that turned me into a huge like military nut for like weapons and other stuff. So I thought like they were really cool. So I wanted to like make sure everything was accurate. So I really liked the MW games because I was like, dang, I want this weapon to be in the game. I want this weapon to be in the game.
What was your highest prestige, Jack?
I don't remember which. I think Black Ops 1 I was prestige 8. Or not Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. That was the one I played the most.
Okay. I think my highest I got was 10th prestige, Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, Black Ops 2 was the one I played the most. Black Ops 3 I'm prestige 5. MW was like 2. MW2 was like 3. I don't know. They were all like under like 4 pretty much for the other games.
MW2 is like there's one thing that I miss about MW2 that you don't get in any other COD games is
OMA tubes.
No. That feeling of just you're at 24 kills, your chopper gunner ends, and you're just nervous as fuck looking for that last kill for the tactical nuke.
My favorite thing to do was if I saw a chopper gunner on my teammates, I would go near my teammates, shoot the gun to alert all the enemies to come kill us.
You piece of shit, you know that, right?
I know. But see, in that way, I kind of win the game myself. Because I win like this internal, I don't know, it's more fun that way.
I think my favorite MW2 story is that me and my friend Dietrich are playing on Wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both running nuke, right? And I get mine super early in a game of domination, or I think it's demolition.
Yeah.
And we're going to the second round, and my friend is doing going for nuke as well. It'll be his first nuke ever.
Oh, Michael, you're
as he's
so.
on 24 kills, I activate mine. He was still just AC 132.
So he couldn't activate his.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I'm a dick.
Yeah, I don't know. Though I personally feel like I've had more fun experiences in Battlefield, oddly enough. Like, Call of Duty is still the game I'd rather just hop on and play, but I've had more of those epic moments on Battlefield where like we just jihad cheap or like go on a plane and suicide it. I know these sound awful, but yeah,
I was never a vehicle guy in Battlefield. I was always infantry dude.
Well,
so
I wasn't vehicle either, but I would like play support on them.
Me and my friends would just do these slow pushes of just heavy gunner and medic and just slowly push our way up,
right,
inch by inch. It was fun, you know. It's still a fun game in my opinion.
Okay, well, to wrap up this part, I guess to say that I think the way that Battlefield 5 is moving forward from a gameplay perspective, people have said, like the players who have said, it doesn't feel like it's like in the trailer how fast it is and chaotic it is. It still feels like normal Battlefield pacing. Obviously, controversy around the authenticity and the trailer itself, though. But that aside, though, I think it's more likely that I purchase Battlefield 5 than Black Ops 4 just because the way I like it. Because Black Ops 4 would be a lot more experimental for me. And if I'm spending $60, I would still go for what I'm comfortable with overall.
Yeah.
Although I will say that like it is kind of interesting that it's getting support through Activision through the Blizzard launcher now.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that when I logged in today.
Yes, exactly. So maybe that could say something because COD, I feel like Call of Duty ports for PC have always been pretty iffy.
They've always been shit.
So, but maybe this is
well, the recent ones at least have always been shit.
The Modern Warfare 2 one was pretty good in my opinion.
More promising.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if they're dedicated, if they're pairing up with another developer, they don't want like a crappy game to be on their platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean,
Well.
Destiny 2's on there though.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Battlefield and Black Ops. So I wanted to next say like there's a lot of awesome movies coming out this summer, and I didn't even notice
totally.
like I didn't even
I mean,
notice
even
the
the
ones
ones
that
that
came
already
out.
come
So
out.
like the ones that like the two that came out already that we noted like that already came out recently was the Deadpool 2 and the and Han Solo, right? Other
I heard
movies.
Solo flopped really
Yes,
bad.
I heard that too, and I only Wikipedia'd it. I haven't watched it. Do you guys care about spoilers?
I don't care at all.
All right, Kevin.
Oh no,
Canon.
just say spoiler warning.
Cannon, do you care about spoilers?
No, yeah.
For Han
that's
Solo.
fine.
Okay.
Spoiler warning.
So spoiler
pause
warning.
here, leave.
Spoiler warning. So I was reading the Solo stuff. I was not interested at all in the story of Solo, right? Because I was looking at it, I was like, all right, whatever. Han Solo wasn't, because I wasn't one of this. I don't really like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like Star Wars as a whole that much. I think it's cool, but from like a perspective, I don't like the original trilogy very much. Just it doesn't interest me. And then I grew up watching the prequels, and the prequels are kind of bad, but they're really good meme material. So I mostly like them for memes, right? And because they were pretty cool. But there was one thing at the end of it where like apparently Maul was revealed again, so that was pretty cool. I don't know about
Sure.
if you guys know
That's
much.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how much you guys know about Maul, but basically like I feel like a lot of casual viewers would be kind of confused because they would think Maul died in like in Phantom Menace, right? But he reappeared in the Clone Wars TV show, and then he also reappeared in Rebels. So this kind of sets up the timeline between what happened by his capture by Sidious and wherever the comics ended to his appearance at Rebels. So I think it is cool that they're giving it a slight to that. But that's just a small thing. But yeah, I don't know why it was so bad. Did you guys see anything about that? Like why Solo was?
I have not seen it yet, so.
Not seen it, so.
Well, I mean, like have you guys seen any reviews on why people thought it was so bad? Because it was like very low rated for a Star Wars movie when it was compared to the other ones.
Well, the trailers didn't really stick out per se.
I mean that they also was like. I mean, it went through development hell where they had like 3 director changes, like the actor, like.
Yeah, I know because they kept having directors that wanted to do like, well, to quite honest, they wanted to like flex their creative like muscles on this project, but the thing was Disney wanted to go with a more safer route, and so they hired like a bunch of people.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, no. Solo. Yeah, I'm pulling up the articles right now. I was looking at. Yeah, Solo had the lowest opening of Disney Star Wars movies.
So even opening wise, it was just very bad. Not
Yeah,
just
like the
reviews.
lowest opening is like. I think they're tracking to open around 130-150 million dollars in Memorial Day, but they're expecting like 300 million. So like, they didn't even make half of what they're about to make half of what they expected to get.
Wow.
And I think a lot of it has to do just the Last Jedi like was very polarizing whether you really liked it or you didn't. China, I know for a fact China fucking hated it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it closed in 1 week. It only lasted 1 or 2 weeks in China.
Oof.
Because
Okay.
since I watched Last Jedi, there was only one scene where lightsabers actually hit each other, and that's it. And the fact that the casino planet was completely fucking useless.
Yeah. If we're gonna talk about Last Jedi, let me just
kind of
remark.
annoying.
I don't care at all about Rose and Finn. Like,
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a
also
unneeded
the
premise.
worst line in the movie. No, Finn, this isn't how we beat our enemies. What the fuck?
Yes, it is. You fucking killed them. They kill you,
Dude, like Rose literally screwed them all, like technically, right? Because had Finn crashed into the thing and destroyed it, they wouldn't have busted into the bunker as quickly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like even if Luke didn't save them, like at least gives them a bit more time to think about stuff. But no, she saves him, and then they bust open the bunker. What does that accomplish?
I think the send off to Luke was not well done. My biggest problem with Last Jedi was just that was the fucking light speed crash into the fucking like ship.
Oh, you didn't
kind of
like
thing,
that?
ramp. Okay, I don't mind
Really,
it. I
what
think
was your problem with that?
my problem is that it makes every other space fight null.
Mhm.
Because what's the point of just using like
If you
your
can just
actual weapons
suicide
if you just
people.
ram it? Yeah.
Oh, but like weapons wise, I watched a shit ton of YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, how did the bombs drop in space?
Yeah.
No,
also,
okay,
why
that's-
there's so
those are
much noise in
magnetized.
space as
Those are
well?
magnetized.
Yeah.
Those are magnetized. They
Okay.
explained it.
All right, that's fine. But
No,
also,
As for
why?
shields, as for like why they couldn't fucking just tear the Star Destroyer couldn't fucking tear through their shields was like in real life we have like optics, right? Like you how to explain this? Like starfighters can get through the shields, but specific like heavy battery cannons cannot. So which is why they fucking like
Listen,
ripped,
listen. I'm just
Kylo's-
assuming future science can like has some properties that deal with that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Why is
But-
there noise in space though? That's another question I have.
True.
other-
I think it's a Star Wars thing.
For
Also-
cinematic effects, Jack.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Oh.
I mean, that's really what it really comes down
Like, I
to.
mean, how boring would it be if you had to watch a Gravity style? Just
Okay.
everything. You just hear voice. You like hear him breathing.
I mean, that's
Pretty
what was
much
in that. But when the Lightspeed crash happened, it was like that. So I thought that scene was pretty cool overall. I know,
Well-
Michael, how you mean by it devalues other space battles, which actually makes a lot of sense
Mm-hmm.
now. But
But like the other problem with it is that they also before she did that, she let a shit ton of lifeboats die.
yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
I also think that like there's one thing I liked is like how there were consequences to Poe's actions and Dameron's actions, how they like disobeyed their superiors, but then got a bunch of people killed because of it. Like that's a real consequence. But they also didn't get punished like themselves, which
Yeah.
like I find
They
hilarious.
didn't show any like guilt of
Plot
letting people
armor.
die.
They,
or
they
anything.
didn't feel like they tried to show some guilt, but it didn't feel like significant at all.
Yeah.
The other
And
thing
then-
was that I don't know why she didn't just communicate her plans with Dameron
Yeah.
and just say like,
It's so dumb. It's so dumb, dude. It's just a whole like men are kind of bullshit. Like, no.
like
He didn't
oh,
deserve to
he's
hear
kind
my
of
plan.
hot-headed and irrash.
Yeah.
Oh, I like him. Like what, bro?
Also, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Leia should have died.
Yeah, same. I don't think she should have been
Yeah.
able to just like force will
Force.
her way like to the thing. What the like.
It just loses all gravity at the moment.
Like, I know because the comics were retconned for all this stuff, so I don't even know what kind of Jedi training Leia had, or if she just randomly had the Force ability now. Oh my god, dude.
Well, I mean, there was the argument that her brother was really strong with the Force, and they were twins.
But how did she not
Um,
get blown up, though, is my question.
Yeah.
Everyone else got
True.
blown
I mean,
up.
and they kill like it'd be such a cool. I think it'd be so fitting where her own son couldn't kill her; it had to be someone else.
Right.
And that'd be a really big moment for Kylo.
And
Ren where
Snoke
he-
could say, like, you're weak
Die
and
during
stuff like
filming,
that.
though?
What'd you say, Cameron?
Didn't Carrie Fisher die during filming though?
Yes.
Yeah,
She did.
Okay.
And
I
this,
thought it'd be a perfect send off.
this would have been a send off to her too.
And it'd be so cool. Instead of Holdo, it could have been Admiral Akbar leading the resistance.
Holdo, no. Admiral Akbar should have been the
Akbar
one
died.
in the ship. No. I know he dies, but he should have been one in the ship to use the light ship suicide, and should have said it's a trap before before doing it.
No, I thought it'd be like such a cool way to get fan service and pass on the torch to the next generation.
Yes.
Also
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that Kylo's like fucking shirtless scenes were cringy as fuck.
Ben
Wide boy.
The ones where they fucking communicate through the Force. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know, man. There is quite a bit of sexual tension there.
No, the one thing that
Can you put on a
fucking
shirt?
bothered me was then when Rey transferred fucking water to Kylo. I'm like, the Force can fucking do that now? Like, you can transport
I
material
mean, it's a
through
plot.
like-
It's a plot device. So
I am not sold on Rey as a main character at all. I think Kylo is actually my favorite character in the entire trilogy so far.
I think I think they haven't done enough in 2 movies. Is the problem.
Yeah,
I see
I
no
agree
way
with
for
that.
a third movie to like complete unless they want to go down the full villain arc for Kylo, but I still see him as kind of immature, right? So I don't see him as a realistic villain. So even in a third movie, I cannot imagine like it completing well.
It would have been a great twist for the second movie is that Kylo converts and Rey falls to her dark side, like they're like showing off in the island.
Hmm.
I thought it'd
Yeah,
been such a good twist in an actual like redemption arc for her.
And then have Finn like be a useful like.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that I agree that they have not done enough progression in these 2 movies.
Yeah.
But I also think I agree as well that Kylo is my favorite character, but not because because of what he's been doing, but also I think he has the most potential for growth as a character. I think Rey doesn't have as much potential for growth. I think that Kylo has the potential to be a much more dynamic character.
Like I'd be called misogynist or whatever for this, but I don't agree with Rey like learning all the Force powers within 5 minutes of understanding that the Force exists.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
pretty stupid.
no.
One of my larger complaints about the thing was also like I really liked how in the old Star Wars, right, when Sidious was saying like you need to learn like both things to truly understand the Force, the light and the dark side, I wanted them to like do a focus on how like there's no real like good and evil, like there's no just black and white, like this is dark and this is light. Yeah, I because I feel like this could have really gone to like the idea that things are actually much more complicated, things are morally gray, you know, how we solve our issues. Because like, but I still feel like they're still going way too hard on the light and dark side stuff. This could have been an opportunity, because Luke even says in the movie and with Yoda how like they need to change the old ways. And I think like a great way to do that would be like showing that it's more than just like not embracing the dark side or something. It's about understanding like this like complex morality of like situations, right? So
Well, yeah,
there could have
and
been a lot
the thing
more.
is, like the thing is, like they like always talk about like light side, dark side.
Like don't
But they
fall to the
also
dark
always
side.
mention-
but,
Yeah, but they also always mention that you can't have one without the other.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, so how can they mention that without like talking about like this more complicated like viewpoint on how the Force works? You know what I mean? Or I think that's a little stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
going
yeah.
back to Solo though, I think it's gonna flop. I don't foresee it doing well. I went through development hell. I'm not sold on the trailer. They didn't even try and promote it that hard. It kind of came
No,
out like under the radar, and that's for like the past 2 weeks. But
True.
even then, I'm just
I think that partially though is because of all the other A-list movies that have been coming out recently.
Yeah.
Like they've been stealing some of the hype away. I think it was just like not a good time for release, especially with the like the lack of advertisements they were putting into it.
I mean, Infinity War and Deadpool 2 also came out. So
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Infinity War broke sales. Yeah.
I don't.
I don't feel so good with Stark.
what's coming else? What else is coming out this weekend? Because
Ant-Man is coming out in July.
Venom
And
is
then
coming
there's-
out sometime.
I don't trust Venom.
I don't
want to
trust it
believe it's gonna
either.
be good.
I don't trust it either, but just we'll talk about that in a bit. But Venom, and then also Jurassic World 2.
I'm actually
Yeah.
excited for that.
That's just a no.
I don't know.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
excited
wait.
for that.
I feel like the trailer has not revealed a lot in Jurassic World 2, so I'm actually kind of curious what happens.
I'm excited for
I
it
did
because
like
I have
that.
zero expectations for it. So I'm just going to expect a
Exactly.
fun movie. So I'm
Wait,
excited for it.
what do you mean fun? The trailer looked like it was very like dark this time.
Like a
Yeah,
summer
no,
flick.
but
Like a
it's
summer flick.
But I'm expecting it just to be like a Chris Pratt movie.
Oh, see.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So speaking of which, so Infinity War. I know some people didn't like Infinity War. I really liked Infinity War. Like it's probably one of my
really
favorite Marvel
liked it.
movies.
From
I like
watching
it
it, I liked it. I think it's probably the best Marvel movie.
Hmm.
Barring I fucking love Thor Ragnarok. I thought that was
Oh, I
amazing.
love Thor Ragnarok too. Yeah, that's
It was
also a
good,
great
yeah.
one.
My problem that I had with Infinity War is that it set up too much for the sequel, if that makes sense.
It's fair.
I felt like a lot of it was just build up for the second movie.
Yeah.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And I felt like the things I did, like I feel like there was a sense of urgency. I felt that killing off characters and showing that the consequences of people's actions, and like I thought that was all really well done and very masterful.
See,
How it was,
I agree with that, and that's the thing. Like, it was also funny though, and had a sense of that. And I didn't think like that was entirely possible for. All right, so this is a huge thing. Like, I can't cite any other movies, but like for example, like anime, Akame ga Kill. One of my big criticisms was like it tries to be serious at sometimes, but then it's also just like an ecchi comedy type show too, sometimes. So like it like loses all sense of tension when it goes to that, so I just do not care about the characters. Whereas like in Infinity War, yes, there were characters set up before that you cared about, but like it also managed to like add humor and group characters together so that they would be funny, but also like it would be tense
Yeah.
when
so who's your
Peter showed up.
predictions on who's coming back, on who's gonna be resurrected?
Please,
I think the
Spider-Man.
reason-
I don't know.
Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 was confirmed, so we're not sure if that's after or before Civil War.
It has been
anymore.
confirmed. It's in for Phase 4, I think.
Yeah.
Just
So,
bring
I
poor
think one of the
Spider-Man.
reasons
But in
why
terms of timeline, is that gonna be after or
I have no
before?
idea. Like for example,
No one knows.
Like
After,
the
I
Marvel
think.
movie, she's gonna be in the 90s with a younger Nick Fury and a younger. Like,
I'm
Coulson.
not looking forward to Captain Marvel. I think that's what on Marvel. I think she's so bland as a character.
I don't know anything about Captain Marvel, but I'm excited to see like how they interact with Nick Fury and stuff.
I mean, yeah. I mean, binary form is pretty cool. So there's that.
Okay, so I will say though,
Yeah,
my
go
weak
on.
point for Infinity War, I think, was the Wakanda scene. The difficulty with the Wakanda scene is that like
Wakanda forever.
the battle, they just kind of like charged in, and Falcon literally charges into the line of fire. Like he flies into the
Yeah.
enemies while they're shooting stuff at them, and I just thought, what can Falcon really do in this situation, right?
Absolutely nothing.
I was thinking, like, why not have your, like, base soldiers face off against these people and have all your specialists, like, have your AoE mages, like Scarlet Witch and stuff, like, deal with them, right? Have your AoE, like, deal with the base soldiers, but then have your specialists protect the one girl. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, though, what would you give Infinity War?
I
Out of
don't
10.
I honestly am really bad at out of 10 ratings, but it's probably one of my favorite
Yeah.
Marvel movies. Like, of Marvel movies, I really like. I think Civil War I like, Ragnarok, I like Black Panther, I like this one. So I don't know.
I think Ragnarok, Infinity War, and OG Iron Man are my favorite 3.
I don't care actually very much about OG Iron Man. I know people love
Really?
it. But yeah, I don't care very much about it.
The reason why Infinity worked well, like ended up working so well, is that it was really like the movie was really about Thanos. Like
Yeah.
I think.
Oh
Thanos
wait,
is
that was
one of the
another.
big problems
There is
with
another
Avengers
weak point
2.
of Thanos though too. I'll talk.
I thought
after, I'll
Thanos
let-
is.
I
I
know,
thought
but
Thanos was a really good villain.
same.
I
But
don't
there is some weak points, but I'll talk about. Like, I love him as a character,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in his portrayal. But Cannon, you finish what
I
you were
think,
saying.
yeah, I was gonna say that I think that like if you look at Avengers 2, I think it really suffered from the fact that they were trying to balance between too many strong characters. But by putting Thanos as above everyone else, they're able to still have those strong characters while maybe they don't get as much spotlight. It's really because they're not meant to get as much spotlight. I think it was like kind of like a cohesive way to like just make everything work.
Yeah, I agree. If Avengers 2 focused more on Ultron and about like why he believes the Avengers need to die for like the world to end or
Exactly.
the world to be better, that'd be good. So here's the thing with Thanos. I like that they changed his motivation from the comics. So in the comics, Thanos' motivation is that he's infatuated with death because at a young age he was like unloved and stuff. But then
Yeah.
like the incarnation of death, like he grew attached to her. The thing is, like, I get why they changed that because that'd be really fucking awkward for like big audiences, right? But the movie version of Thanos, his logic, I like it how he's like, okay, I will do population control to stop people from like, to stop like suffer, so there's enough resources and stuff. Here's the problem though, they don't explain why. They don't explain why the Infinity Gauntlet has to erase people. Why he couldn't just create more resources if it's so powerful. I think all they had to do was explain why he's limited to having to still erase people or like kill them off. As a way of saving the world. It reminds me a lot of the Holy Grail from Fate Zero, where because Kiritsugo's past, he always would kill people. The Corrupt Grail's like a way of saving the world would be to kill off a bunch of the world. So like I saw it paralleled with that, but the problem is they don't really explain it. So I don't know what the why he would have to like still erase half of the population.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But other than that, I love
That is a
Thanos.
pretty major flaw.
Yeah. Other than that,
think
though, I
Thanos
love
is a pretty
Thanos.
really good character.
Yeah.
In that.
He pushes the buttons that other people aren't willing to do, and I thought, that's. I know that trope's been used a lot, but I don't know. It felt like they just executed on it so much better. It's hard to express, I guess.
No, I totally know what you mean.
So now I don't know how much you guys have seen. I don't think you guys have seen Deadpool 2 yet, right?
I have not.
I have.
Okay, you
I've
don't care
seen
about
it
spoilers
twice.
though, right, Michael?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Deadpool 2. I know Zach said it sucked and was way worse than the first one. I adamantly disagree. I think Deadpool 2. Well, personally, I loved it much more because he's much more cynical, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and here the one thing I will say is that I can understand some people won't like it as much because as a movie, it does seem kind of off in its pacing because it jumps around a lot more and seems a lot faster with how many scenes it has to go through. But for me personally, the fact that the character is much more just like the type of Deadpool I like makes up so much for it that I just like it better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've seen it twice now, and I think I agree with like we were talking with Brian from the OG squad about this because he's seen it twice as well. I personally think that I didn't like it as much on the first watch, and I thought I didn't like it as much as the first Deadpool. But I think I like it more now on the second watch because it's a movie that has a lot going on in it. Again, like lots of scenes, lots of acts going on, and it's just a lot to take in. But on the second watch through, you already know a lot of the information. You're able to look out for things. You're able to like see it, and I think it ends up being like I kind of like a much better story. Like Deadpool actually like goes through like a lot of development, in my opinion.
Like he goes
And I
through
think
development,
that, like,
yet he's still cynical. It's like the thing.
Exactly, yeah. But he's still true to his character.
Yeah. Okay, well, those were some recent movies. I don't know. Are you guys gonna go watch the other ones in theater? Because I don't know. Like, in like later on in high school, I honestly stopped watching a lot of movies in theaters. I don't know about you guys, but like I got way less social as high school progressed. Canon.
Oh no, I feel.
Yeah,
I think that also there was sort of like a rut in movies for a little bit. Like, I think that there was like a year where we didn't have like a ton of great movies coming
because
out.
didn't Age of Ultron come out in 2015? And
Yeah,
that was like around
it's been a
sophomore year,
while.
right? So like after
It's been a
that, we really
while.
didn't watch too much. I don't know about you, Michael. Do you still go out to watch movies a lot?
Most of them I'm just home with my parents. If we had nothing else to do, or go home with like hang out with a friend. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that we'd rather just like go like play video games or just
yeah.
like
Go eat
and
or
actually just
something.
converse with each other. Yeah.
Because yeah, that's the other thing is like it costs money to go eat at a movie theater, and you can't talk to your friends at a movie theater.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
annoying. I don't know,
Unless you
Kevin.
go to the AMC dine-in, which is like expensive as fuck.
Yeah, and like if I'm gonna like go watch a movie, I might as well just wait for the like to get through legal reasons through certain websites and then watch it on my own like leisure.
Doesn't everyone do that though?
No, Kevin. I respect and uphold the law, so I would never do something so scummy and villainous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you have certain VPNs or whatever.
Oh
Would
my
it
goodness.
download a
What are you
card?
talking about, Michael?
Sure.
It's not like Loyola blocks all our downloads, so we have to use VPNs to, illegally download things.
Well, loopholes.
Oh, so Michael,
loopholes.
you're saying how you don't trust Venom.
I don't trust Venom because of just it doesn't feel right in the trailer.
Okay.
I think Venom's design is toned down a bit. I think just to try and get people to watch it because Venom's true design is like super like grotesque and monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
I
I think
like Tom
Carnage looks
Hardy.
more monstrous.
Yeah, I think Tom Hardy's a good actor. I just don't think the trailers told us enough yet to be excited for it or not. So I'm very tentative on it. But this is again, I think it's Sony and Fox handling it, and we all know how they handle X-Men and Fantastic Four and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
My
I'm
worry
cautious.
is what people pointed out is that that scene with Venom looks like it'll probably be toward the end of the movie, which means that we're probably not going to get very many scenes of Venom. Which,
Yes.
in some ways, is cool because like having less of something can make something cooler. But for a character like Venom, where we just kind of want to see him, especially if he's the protagonist, we definitely want to see more of him.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I also think his design, while it like the CGI is fine, he kind of looks like I don't know, like not Play-Doh, but gel or something. It's hard to express.
Putty?
Like it looks more live and organic, which I guess is good actually, but it is kind of different from because I watched the old Spider-Man cartoons. Is my impression of Venom. So yeah.
Oh, I grew up on comic books. When I found out when I was a little kid, my dad actually had these like boxes of like 500, 600 comics, and they're all like old 90s Spider-Man comics. So
Yeah.
I remember
Wow.
I remember reading through like Maximum Carnage and
Oh, dude, the Carnage ones are dark.
and through like Planet of the Symbiotes, where they're like the symbiotes took over like all the Marvel heroes. It's only like up to like Scarlet Spider, Spider-Man, and Venom like try and rescue everyone. But yeah, no, it was awesome.
I
Like,
like
yeah.
Oh, go on. What were you gonna say?
I don't know. That's my impressions of Venom. Is always he's this not truly evil person because he eventually develops into a very big anti-hero.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's cool.
But I don't know how they're gonna solve on him. I don't with the way a lot of like Fox handles like superhero movies. I don't know how to trust it. And that's just my
Yeah,
two cents.
I agree. I think that like a lot of people I feel like don't know that Venom's an anti-hero, like because
Yeah.
they probably also saw like the older cartoons, thought he was more of a villain. But especially after the birth of Carnage and stuff, it does make a lot
Yeah.
of sense. Like, and also it's easier to market. Like, how are you gonna make a protagonist? Like, it's much harder to make a villain protagonist than a anti-hero one. And anti-heroes are, I don't know. I mean, dark and edgy stuff is like more popular now, I guess, which is upsetting for me personally.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course. It's better to be dark and edgy when no one likes it.
Oh my goodness.
That way,
Looking
like,
like a Edge Lord.
that way you can be dark and edgy in your own world.
Resident Edgelord over here.
Shut up, Kevin. Anyways, so any other movies? I know Jurassic World 2 is coming out, but like we said, I have no idea what's even going on in that movie. Ant-Man.
Rescuing dinosaurs.
I'm curious how Ant-Man and the Wasp deals with like the Thanos situation from Infinity War, because I don't know when it's supposed to be set in, but like it's supposed to quote explain why Ant-Man and Hawk aren't in Infinity War, because technically they were under house arrest to like stay with their families better, but like obviously going to be doing something in Ant-Man and Wasp, so you know.
So I mean, I'm guessing that means that the timeline-wise, it's probably at a similar time as Infinity War. Then it has to be.
Yeah. Any other movies you guys recently or like know are coming out?
I can Google search. Summer
I
18.
think even just Marvel movies in general. There's more Phase 4 coming out.
Oh, hey, Canon.
We know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying, I know Homecoming 2 is gonna come out, but we know nothing about that.
Mm-hmm. Is it coming out after Infinity War?
No, I think it's coming out. I can double check. But
It'd be so weird if it came
gut
out
feeling.
before. Like.
Yeah, because
Mr. Stark, I got better.
Well, that
Mr.
means
Stark, I feel much better.
Yeah, no, because the
Don't
thing
bring
is,
me to
then,
Spidey.
because in the sequel to Infinity War doesn't come out until 2020.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into
So if
Pixar
we're-
movies. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're gonna be waiting for a while. For
Wait,
Homecoming 2
in the new
after
Infinity War 2, I thought it was 2019.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
No, dude,
Okay, I
I'm
could
pretty
be
sure
wrong.
it's 2019 CPS.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. I think it's 2019. I highly doubt they're waiting until 2020.
So,
Okay.
What'd you say,
Yeah, because
Michael?
I don't know what other movies they would fill it.
Michael, what were you saying?
if you're into Pixar movies, Incredibles 2 comes out this summer, and I'm actually
True.
That is over a
Everyone's
decade in
been
the
waiting
making.
for that for a while.
Wow.
yeah.
That is gonna be a very huge make it or break it on whether or not people trust them with reboot or sequels.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Incredibles is fucking well beloved by everyone.
Yes, I mean it was better than
Yeah.
any of the Fantastic Four movies. I mean it's the best Fantastic Four movie, so
Yeah, no, I agree.
like I actually find it hilarious how it's actually just Fantastic Four, but it's a good movie. I don't know. All right, hey Kevin, time for
Yes.
your time to shine as the
boy.
resident weeaboo. What anime have you been watching recently that you've enjoyed?
The Bible block.
Oh my goodness, no.
You know,
Okay,
at
please
ASIN
no.
in the hentai
The fact that
section,
we all knew about
there
that
were a
film.
lot of interesting titles that we saw that are pretty
Of
funny.
course, but that's
Time
not what
mine
I'm
in
here
a
to
soggy.
talk about.
Sibling
Semi
secret,
in public.
like sibling secret
God.
and stuff. Like there's a lot of hilarious.
Here.
Yes, Jack, I'm sure you enjoyed that section of
Kevin.
ASIN.
No.
Kevin,
Yes.
here's an actual question for you. What were your thoughts on Overlord season 2?
Honestly, I enjoyed it, but like I thought season 1 was a lot more like fleshed out.
Okay, I'm not
But
gonna
that's just
lie.
me.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched Overlord season 1, and I got like 2 episodes into Overlord season 2, and completely forgot about its existence because it didn't interest me.
I liked Overlord in season 2 a lot.
Okay. So is it worth going back to?
It focuses a lot more on the side characters.
I focus on the side characters.
Oh.
It depends what you like about Overlord 1. If you really like Ainz, you're not gonna get a lot of that in season 2. What I did like about season 2 is that it shows how evil Ainz actually is, though.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Ainz
how
just a
he
dude
loses
though?
his
Huh?
how
Isn't
he
he just a
loses
dude,
his
though,
humanity.
technically?
Yeah.
Oh, he loses because he gets more god complexy and stuff.
No, not dog complex.
No, not
just,
God complex.
It's just the fact that he's an undead in the.
He's a lich.
Technically, he's a lich, so he's losing his emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
so
interesting
how does
how
that
that,
work
like,
though? Is he like stuck in the game like Kirito or like what? I've
He's
never
stuck in
watched
the
it.
game.
a little
but-
different.
I thought he just transported to like an alternate reality where the game is.
Mhm.
It's more like a
Yeah.
But it has a
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
So like it.
The cash shop items still exist and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, how would you feel if you just turned into Lee Sin in an alternate world?
Well, he's blind, so he wouldn't really.
I mean, blind,
Yeah, but
so, yeah.
I just
That would suck.
I'd be cut as fuck, so I'd be okay with that.
Would
What
you
if we
still have
all
your
turned
flash
into our
mechanics?
respective
Yeah,
champions? Like, Kevin, who would you turn into, Vel'Koz or Thresh? Well, you're into anime, so Vel'Koz.
Both of them.
Nah,
I would
Vel'Koz
not
for the
want to be.
hentai. Vel'Koz.
Oh,
Kevin becomes
oh,
Vel'Koz.
Well, why do you gotta?
Well, let's go back to anime. Let's go back to anime if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Alright, so obviously the really popular ones this season are Boku no Hero Academia.
Wait, Boku no
the third
Pico?
season.
What?
No!
Boku no
Hero.
Pico?
No, hey, Jack, why you do this to me?
Alright.
Anyways, that's the really popular one. Some that people have been waiting for the summer are Steins Gate Zero
Yeah,
and the
Steins Gate
Tokyo
Zero.
Ghoul Re. And I know
Yeah, I
Jack
was
has
gonna
been
say
waiting
Tokyo
for
Ghoul Re.
the new High School D&D.
Not true at all, actually.
Really?
False.
I mean, High School DxD.
Mhm.
Ria's his best girl. That's it.
False.
And then I know there's a lot of controversy going on with the new Sword Art Online, the Gun Gale Online one.
I haven't watched that yet.
A lot of people seem to like it because it strays away from like what made SAO bad.
But
then
isn't it not
introduces so
standing
many-
well on its own though? People told me like it's just not very
Yeah.
good on its own is the problem.
No, it's not. Without SAO, it's kind of like
It's still just pretty meh anyways.
it's bland.
Yeah.
But it's still entertaining to watch.
Kevin, what have you
Like,
been
it's not-
enjoying though to watch?
I personally have been enjoying where is it? What's it called?
Boku no
Yeah,
Hero
it's-
Pico.
Food Wars is always fun.
I like Food Wars. I think.
I still haven't watched it.
How would you
Taking it some
explain
new
Food
direction.
Wars if you're in front of like someone who didn't watch anime? They just walk in while there's like the food gasm
that's
scene.
definitely
You'd have to
wrong.
explain like this is a
Yeah.
cooking show, by the way.
Yeah, that's kind of those are the only points that are embarrassing to
You know, this,
point out. But
this is actually quite relevant for me because I just showed a bunch of people the first episode because I knew how freaking bad it was,
hmm
and like, it comes off so strong. Like you have to be mentally prepared for that.
Would it
stuff.
be easier to explain
like-
the Food Wars or like a random episode of JoJo?
Well, JoJo, you
I'd
have
ra-
to like
JoJo,
watch.
I'd rather-
I'd rather explain
Yeah.
JoJo because it's less awkward. Like huge muscly dudes
Exactly.
is like not as awkward, right? Having to
True.
explain like the Food Wars
Girls
like
that-
whole situation is
instead of
like,
people to get their clothes
yeah, this
ripped
is a
off
cooking
when they
show,
don't
by
get
the
food.
way. You know, this isn't about like hentai.
Would you rather explain Food Wars or Monster Musume?
Food Wars.
Okay,
Food Wars, 100%.
no, Food Wars.
I don't even
Food
think
Wars.
like Monster Musume would be something I could even. It could like resonate on the same plane of existence as a normie could like understand or comprehend.
Monster Musume is so much fucking fun.
See, I was gonna watch it, but I couldn't get past the OP. I saw the opening.
It's too happy for you.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't too happy. I love happy shows. But it was just too different.
Cringy?
Yeah, too cringy, honestly. But see, I've watched a lot of cringy shows in the past, like My Bride is a Mermaid, My Ochiki. Like I've
Yeah.
watched a lot of shows that were cringy, and I had no problem with it. But man, Monster Musume, holy that opening!
The concept as a whole is just like a whole guilty pleasure.
Like,
It's so much. It's
every-
actually funny though. It's
I
actually
know,
funny.
but like every character that isn't the Snake Girl is just way too like, just out
Also,
there.
Smith is the best character.
Who's Smith? Is that the slime?
No, she's the one.
FBI
She's,
agent.
she's like the agent who like makes sure that everything's running okay.
Oh, okay.
She's actually my favorite character.
Michael, does your girlfriend know you watch Monster Musume?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna show her this.
I haven't watched it, so
If
Are
you
you-
found out, what would you do?
Oh,
Just
she'd be like,
question
oh,
him again.
Yeah, question me. I'm like, why am I dating this fucker?
But then you'll win
just-
her over with your smile.
Then
Oh
just
my
like,
goodness.
then just like, just don't watch it when I'm around, kind of thing.
Oh.
Or you could get her to watch it and enjoy it with you.
Dude, that'd be so weird. Holy shit.
Dude, that's how
Continuing,
real trusting relationships are built.
Because okay, wait. So far we watched Death Parade, which she really liked. We're only a couple episodes in.
that was a good one.
That's pretty
You
good.
show her Gundam yet?
No, she doesn't like mecha animes at all.
Oh, she has trash taste. Real.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
look-
She has trash taste.
Right now we're watching Darker Than Black, and she really likes it.
Hey, I haven't watched it, but I have a poster.
Dark animes.
See, I don't even watch Darker Than Black, but I have a poster of Hey in my room.
Well, she prefers something serious when we watch together, just she knows like I can as much
she's
as
the
like,
mature
'cause
one?
She loves Taeyeon. She loves Love Live.
But
Um,
Love Live's not serious at all.
Like
she
my
loves-
8-year-old cousin.
She loves Cardcaptor Sakura and Sailor Moon and all that.
Wait, so you're dating a 13-year-old?
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. Despite the fact that my girlfriend's 9 years older than me, sure. Or 7 years older. I'm sorry. But
Damn, that's a big jump.
Yeah, that's a pretty big jump, man.
Hey man, if it works out, it works out.
or it's
Hey, they're
hey,
connected through the power of anime.
no, we're connected to the power of League of Legends.
Oh, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But you should, if you want dark anime, you should watch Fate Zero with her.
I think
Yeah,
what
Fate Zero is pretty fucked up.
I think what we're watching next is Full Metal Alchemist, and she's never watched it.
Fullmetal Alchemist is kind of fucked up in other
I'm
places.
not watching FMA out of spite of canon.
I'm debating whether Brotherhood or normal one.
Brotherhood, don't watch the
Brotherhood.
Normal's not worth
Edward.
the time.
It hurts. Edward.
Please.
Like, you don't get to
Dude,
use the
Jack,
main
I saw this
fucking shit.
T-shirt of Nina and her dog doing the fusion ha dance.
I remember Alex, our
Okay,
friend.
sure.
I remember Alex, who doesn't even watch anime, watched that scene like a few years ago, like when he was younger, and he was like, "Oh my god, the Chimera suit is so like stressful or something," and all he watched is Sword Art
Yeah.
Online, and he, oh my god, it's so.
Yeah. Dude,
You
I
can't
remember,
call
I
people
saw
who
a
are
meme.
Sword Art Online anime lovers.
Yeah, he's not.
That's
I'm just saying, like as a casual, he watched that and he was like, "Holy shit, dude, this scene." So yeah, pretty dark apparently.
If there's one mech anime I'd want her to get into, it'd probably be Gurren Lagann. I
Wait,
think that'd be, like, the most
she would like
approachable.
Gundam
Gurren
Build
Lagann.
Fighters. Gundam Build Fighters is
Gundam
super
Build
lighthearted
Fighters.
and stuff, and like
Yeah.
really fun.
I like Gurren Lagann. It's like it's very straightforward as an anime. Like it's very tropey.
Except
But it's
the
really
only thing
good.
she might not like is like the whole like Yoko's fan service kind of thing.
Because she's a feminist.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she's
But
fucking
you know what?
14. No, don't do that to her. No.
Oh wait, isn't Yoko's
Halfway
14,
through.
isn't she?
Yeah.
Is
Holy
she?
shit.
Yeah, she is. No, okay, in the first part, yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
boys,
Certain comments. I
looks
know
like all that
she's-
hentai is
no.
illegal.
One show that I would not show her either is Darling in the Franxx because reasons.
I've been really liking that recently. They've been throwing a lot of plot twists in though, in like lots of different ways, and it's like
It's becoming
kind
hard
of
to follow.
Exactly.
I'm just following it through the memes. I'm gonna
Like
binge
the
it when it
last
all
3
comes out.
episodes have been very different thematically.
Rip
I know, that's
Mitsuru
why I was
Kokoro.
like what's going on now?
Rip
Like,
Mitsuru
no
Kokoro.
spoilers.
I mean individually, not like from the rest of the series.
True.
Rip Mitsuru Kokoro.
Oh god, yeah.
Quite
And
unfortunate what happened.
Spoiler alert.
Quite unfortunate.
What other anime this summer are coming out? Did you watch Violet Evergarden?
Yes.
I have not.
It's really good. People.
Wait, you mean
like
Saber
it.
goes on a vacation? What?
No.
Oh my god.
Stop. Oh, there's the cooking one.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's the fake cooking.
Yeah, I got a
one, which
poster
is,
of that from Mason for free. I was by the
Also,
Fate Ghost Hand.
Overlord
they were giving
season
them
3.
out.
Overlord season 3 comes out in June, I think.
What is it really?
Yeah, Madhouse can count to 3. Pretty crazy.
Dang.
I thought Madhouse couldn't even count to 2.
Oh,
When did they
yeah.
learn to count to 3?
Damn. Well,
That's crazy.
people like what they gotta like.
Oh, Attack
so
on
they
Titan
just
season
keep
3 is
pumping
coming
it
out too.
I'm not looking
Really?
forward to Attack on Titan season 3.
Okay,
I
well,
know-
you
I
guys
know,
don't follow the
but I-
manga, so screw you
No,
guys.
the manga is better, but like the anime is just.
You guys don't follow the manga, so screw you
I
guys.
do. Not all the way.
Do you know what I wanted to watch, but I just
Oh look, the police are coming for me.
it was weird.
Kevin, quickly,
I don't know if
erase
I
your
can
lolly
answer it.
hentai!
Quickly,
I wanted
Kevin!
to watch fucking Pop Team Epic.
Never heard of
I
it.
haven't seen that.
That's weird as fuck.
Also, did you see that? Did you watch the last season of JoJo? Diamonds Unbreakable.
Yeah, I thought that was honestly like my second favorite, aside from the Joseph Joestar
Did you
first.
see that Rohan's getting his own OVA?
Oh, really? Like how long?
Yeah, 2 episodes I think.
Oh, cool.
I think they'll be an hour long each or something like that.
Dude, I just want them to make a whole another like 2 more seasons of just Joseph Joestar. Like
I want. Is it bad? I kind of just want an OVA of like 5 episodes of Stroheim.
yeah, same. Even though Strawheim's a fucking Nazi, he's Strawheim is literally a Nazi, but he's so funny and like,
He arguably has the best poses. in
dude.
season 2.
When he's like interrogating Speedwagon, a Speedwagon.
Oh, the fucking pose where you find out his torso is a fucking machine gun.
Yeah, and he's like German engineering. or when he gets cut in half, or when he's like, "Oh no, I shot the violet ray at him." No, dude, honestly, part 2 is honestly just the best part. I don't care anyone, I'll fucking fight you. Part 2 is the best part. Like none of you
This
can.
part 2 is just so entertaining.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's funny. It has good pacing. It has good characters. It's not too stressful, but not too lighthearted at the same
Did you
time.
see the meme that JoJo peeked in on Lisa, then finds out it's his mom right after?
Okay.
Wait, what?
So there's a part of part 2 of JoJo where he peeks in on Lisa.
Yeah,
Lisa
his
taking
mom.
a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unknown at the
And then
time.
there's a meme of it just at the end face. Joseph has this weird ass face.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
It's just they just overlay with him realizing that Lisa's mom.
Oh, when he's looking into the sky with the glasses on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Lisa
Oh my God,
eventually told Joseph that she was his mother. Joseph just looks in the air.
Also, I didn't realize that their mentors Kenny in Lod was a reference to Kenny Loggins, which was pretty cool actually.
I don't know what that is.
He is I think he's the guy who did Danger Zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, all of JoJo is a
Yeah.
band reference, so. Kira Queen! Daisan
Yeah.
Bakuretsu.
I'm excited though. I'm excited for
Bakuretsu.
Giorno because that means we get fucking King Crimson and the whole "it just works" meme. It's so great.
I like the meme where it's like, you know the Re meme, like the crab that says Re? How there's a bunch of them? Okay, so one of them was like,
Re.
oh, good job, Kira. Good job being the great villain of this arc. And Kira's like, oh, thank you. Dio fans. Re! Because Dio is obviously a complex villain with complex motives, of course.
Sure.
I don't know. I think if I was to put it in order, I think season 2, season 4, season 3, season 1.
Exactly. Yep.
But season 2, 4, and 3 are like neck and neck, and then it like drops off a cliff to
Wait,
season 1.
for me, they're not neck and neck. 2 is like stunningly good. 4 is like it's good. 3 is like less good, but it's like
Entertaining.
It's entertaining. My problems with 3 is just how fucking long it is, because it's
that, and it's also villain of the week.
See,
kind of thing.
4 fixes that issue by shortening it up. I think,
Yeah.
by making each week like not just feel like villain of the week. It doesn't feel strenuous. It's more like it feels slightly different at least.
Dude,
Because
it also had Kira.
part 3 has like, fighting this enemy part 1, fighting this enemy part 2, and it's like, what? Like, why? But like, also I used to criticize Jotaro a lot. I was like, this guy's just really generic, like, oh, he's edgy and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I realized like the show is more about like the characters like being their stereotype anyways, so that's not the whole point. So I was like, okay, that's not a huge criticism, I guess.
Yeah.
But part 1 is like, like low, like from a story perspective, it's just like,
It's just boring.
Yeah.
It's slow. It's not.
I will
well
say
made.
the studio did a really good job at trying to adapt it, like
Yeah.
trying to make it better. But the story itself is just way too bleh.
Yeah.
Like how can you adapt something like that?
Yeah.
Just so meh.
Man, I really need to watch JoJo.
Yeah, you do.
It's good. You can honestly
5 episodes.
Yeah, Mitchree's
You can-
watched it. So
you can skip season 1 if you really don't.
no, not season 1, but like part 1.
Yeah.
Because
part
season 1 is
which
technically part 1, part 2. Season 2 is part 3, and season 3 is also part 3. That's what I mean by part 3 is way too long, because it's literally season 2 and season 3.
because it's
50 episodes, like a Gundam season.
because one of them is like what JoJo goes to Egypt, and then the second one's the actual Egypt arc.
Yeah, like the first one's the adventure, second one's Egypt. I mean, I know Diamond Unbreakable is like 40 episodes, but still, I feel like what they do in it is
Yeah.
more entertaining per
I
episode.
agree.
So yeah, we've talked for a while, boys. I think it's a good time to wrap things up. I'd like to go to the gym before midnight.
All right.
Because Jack's gonna get swole.
Yes.
Three.
I gotta
see.
become more like Zed, just practice my arts.
Yeah, Zed.
He's coming back.
Yeah,
Definitely
because that is
definitely.
swole. What?
Jack
Yeah,
just comes
dude.
back with 5 stars.
Zed has a lot to. Okay, so this is a poll from a League of Legends, not subreddit, but from the League forums from years ago. But who do you think's hotter, Yasuo or Zed? And one of the big arguments for Zed was dude, the dude's he's had years of ninja training, right? And but you can't see it. He's tone as F probably, and there's a lot to be left to the imagination. Yasuo is just kind of out there, it's whatever. But Zed, he has everything left to the imagination. So
Okay.
I don't know how you guys would think about it.
I see. We don't need any more of your Z fanfics.
Fuck you.
Okay.
So, anyways, any shout outs you people would like to do? Michael.
Put down his Twitch stream right here.
All right, fine. I'll do it on my Twitch stream right now. It's twitch.tv/LawsofPhysix.
Yes.
I stream.
As of
mostly
now,
on-
he needs one more follower to get affiliation.
Yeah. I mostly stream League of Legends. Hopefully, when I ship my desktop over, I can start streaming other games like Siege. I am planning to do a Bayonetta Let's Play on my stream eventually. Since I just bought it, and hopefully, if my laptop can handle it, I'll be streaming some Tekken 7 as well.
Nice,
So, yeah.
nice. Kevin, you have anything you need to plug?
No.
Really?
I'm
Are you
good.
sure? Well, maybe you should link your My Anime list so people can know.
I'm good.
And Canon, I know you're going to be plugging r/CPS_memes. You can see
No,
all
no.
of juicy quotes from Canon's prior
Oh
life.
no! Don't.
But yeah, aside from that, I think we're all done. So this is Jack signing out.